Hello friends, in this lecture we will learn about Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. But before starting this, I want to share information regarding Tutinama or Tales of Parrot, written by Jia Naqsabi. Jia Naqsabi was a 14th century Sufi saint. He was contemporary to Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He translated a Sanskrit text named Suk Sapsati into Persian language named Tutinama or Tales of Parrot. During Abbasid Caliphate from 750 AD to 1258 AD, many Sanskrit works were translated into Persian language. But still Tutinama is considered by many historians as the first Sanskrit text to be translated in Persian language. Later, during the reign of Mughal Emperor Akbar, his two court painters named Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdul Samad added miniature painting to the manuscript of Tutinama. So, at the time of Akbar, the Tutinama was book which was written, and there was miniature painting uh, to describe the writing of Tutinama. Now, regarding Bahmani and Vijayanagar kingdom, it emerged from Delhi Sultanate when Delhi Sultanate was ruled by Tughlaq dynasty. So here are the four maps to show how the Vijayanagar kingdom and Bahmani kingdom emerged from Tughlaq dynasty. The first map shows the map of Tughlaq dynasty during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and the second map shows the emergence of new kingdom Vijayanagar kingdom and Madurai Sultanate from Tughlaq dynasty, and there was Hoysala kingdom which was feudatory of Tughlaq dynasty, but at the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq they declared independence. And in the third map you will find Bengal region declared independence from Tughlaq dynasty, and Hoysala region was captured by Vijayanagar kingdom. And then there was Madurai Sultanate. And in the fourth map, you will find in the east there was Bengal Sultanate. Then in Odisha region there was Eastern Ganga dynasty. Then there was Bahmani kingdom. Then Vijayanagar kingdom, and then Madurai Sultanate. This disintegration happened during the time period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Then the next ruler of Tughlaq dynasty was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. When Firoz Shah Tughlaq attacked Eastern Ganga dynasty in Odisha region, then eventually the Odisha region, the Eastern Ganga dynasty was replaced by Gajpati dynasty in Odisha region. But our focus will be Bahmani kingdom. Focus will be on Bahmani kingdom and Vijayanagar empire. Here is the map of disintegrated Delhi Sultanate during Sayyid and Lodi dynasty. So you can see in the western side there was Timrid Empire, then there was Delhi Sultanate, then there was Jaunpur region ruled by Sarkis ruler, then there was Bengal Sultanate, in Odisha there was Gajpati dynasty, then there was Malwa Sultanate, in Gujarat region there was Gujarat Sultanate, and one important king of the Gujarat Sultanate was Mahmud Begara. So you can remember the name of Mahmud Begara, and he was associated with Gujarat Sultanate. Then there was Bahmani kingdom, and in the south there was Vijayanagar kingdom. Vijayanagar kingdom ruled from 1336 to 1646. The Vijayanagar kingdom was founded by Harihar and Bhukka in 1336. In the initial years, the kingdom was federal in nature, founded by cooperation of small states. Later, it changed into a centralized kingdom. During the reign of Kakatiya dynasty in Warangal, Harihar and Bukka were under the service of Kakatiya dynasty. Later, they got employed under Delhi Sultanate and converted to Islam. But when they established Vijayanagar kingdom, they were readmitted to Hinduism under the guidance of Vidya Ranaya. The kingdom was named after its capital at Vijayanagar, and it was located at the bank of Tungbhadra river. Same, it was at Hampi in Karnataka. The kingdom survived till 1646, but its power declined after the Battle of Talikot or Battle of Banihatti in 1565. This battle was fought between Vijayanagar kingdom on one side and combined armies of Deccan Sultanate, disintegrated empire of Bahmani kingdom. Uh, During this time period, many foreign travelers visited India. Some importance were Nicole de Conti of Italy, then Domingo Pis and Fernão Nunes of Portugal. Uh, Regarding dynasty of Vijayanagar kingdom, the Vijayanagar kingdom was ruled by four different dynasties over a period of uh, 310 years. First one is Sangam dynasty. Sangam dynasty ruled from 1336 to 1485, and it was the longest ruling dynasty of Vijayanagar kingdom. Then second dynasty was Saluva dynasty. They ruled from 1485 to 1505, and it was the shortest ruling dynasty of Vijayanagar kingdom. Then Tuluva dynasty, they ruled from 1491 to 1570. Then fourth one is Aravidu dynasty. Aravidu dynasty ruled from 1542 to 1646. While the ruler of the Sangam dynasty were followers of Saivism, the ruler of the other three dynasties were followers of Vaishnavism. The development of Telugu language started during the reign of Eastern Chaluk dynasty or Chalukya Vangi. But the reign of Tuluva dynasty, especially Krishna Dev Raya, was the golden age of Telugu language. So the development of Telugu language started around 7th century AD, but the golden age of Telugu language was in 14th century AD under Tuluva dynasty. 14th and 15th century AD in under Tuluva dynasty, especially under the ruler, especially under Krishna Dev Raya. Rulers of Vijayanagar kingdom. So the first dynasty of Vijayanagar kingdom was Sangam dynasty. They ruled from 1336 to 1485. The first ruler was Harihar I. He ruled from 1336 to 1356, and he ruled around 20 years. Harihar and Bukka were the founder of Sangam dynasty. So the first ruler was Harihar. The kingdom was in the fight with both Hoysala and Madurai Sultanate. Later, when the Madurai Sultanate defeated the Hoysala ruler, the territory of Hoysala kingdom was annexed by Harihara in 1346, and the Bahmani kingdom came into existence in 1347 by Hassan Gangu. The next ruler of Sangam dynasty was Bukka I. He ruled from 1356 to 1377, around 21 years, and he succeeded his brother Harihar I. Both were the founder of Vijayanagar kingdom. The Raichur Doab area between Krishna River and Tungabhadra River was bone of contention between Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. The next ruler was Harihar II. He ruled from 1377 to 1404. In 1377, Madurai Sultanate came to an end, and south of the Krishna River was dominated by Vijayanagar Empire, with Bahmani kingdom as threat from north. So it was the Harihar II who captured the whole of the whole southern territory below Krishna River. Harihar II also sent an expedition to northern Sri Lanka. So he did not capture only Indian territory in southern region, but he also tried to capture the Sri Lankan territory. So he sent naval expedition in Sri Lanka, and Harihar II also captured Belgaum and Goa from Bahmani kingdom. Next ruler was Dev Rai I. He ruled from 1404 to 1422. He was defeated by Bahmani ruler Firoz Shah Bahmani, and later he married his daughter to Firoz Shah Bahmani. He annexed a major portion of Reddy kingdom at the mouth of Krishna River, and he annexed it with the help of Warangal ruler. Uh, Initially, the Warangals were aligned with Bahmani kingdom, but later, during the raid of Reddy kingdom, they get allied with Bahmani. They get allied with Vijayanagar kingdom with Devraya I, and both capture the territory of Reddy kingdom in at the mouth of Krishna River. Devraya I built dams on Tungabhadra River and many irrigation canals. Italian traveler Niccolo Conti visited Vijayanagar Empire in 1420 during the reign of Devrai I, and he gave a graphical account of Vijayanagar kingdom. And Niccolo Conti also described Telugu language as Italian of the East. So he gave lot of importance to Telugu language. Then another important ruler of Sangam dynasty was Devrai II. He ruled from 1425 to 1446, and he was the greatest ruler of Sangam dynasty. He took the title of Gajbetkara. Gajbetkara means hunter of elephants. Persian historian Abdul Razak visited India during his reign. Razak gave accounts of Vijayanagar kingdom and Bahmani Sultanate. The Sangam dynasty was replaced by Saluva dynasty when the last ruler of Sangam dynasty, Prodha Raya, was overpowered by his commander named Saluva Narsimha Dev Raya. Saluva dynasty. Saluva dynasty ruled from 1485 to 1505. The dynasty was founded by Saluva Narsim Dev Rai, and the disintegration of Bahmani kingdom into Ahmednagar, Bijapur, and Berar happened um, during the reign of Saluva dynasty, and it was in the year 1491. In the year 1490, the Bahmani kingdom disintegrated into Ahmednagar, Bijapur, and Berar kingdom or Sultanate. And during the reign of Saluva dynasty, in around 20th May 1498, Vasco da Gama arrived on the western seacoast of India at Kozhikode or Calicut at Kerala, and he arrived in India with the help of a Gujarati sailor named Kanji Malam. Um, he but some historians considered Ibn Majid as a person who helped Vasco da Gama to came India, but actually it was Kanji Malam. And discovery of sea route between Europe and India led to influx of Western power in India. Next one is Tuluva dynasty. Tuluva dynasty ruled from 1491 to 1570. The development of Telugu language was at peak under this dynasty, especially under the reign of Krishnadev Rai. The dynasty was founded by Tuluva Narsa Nayaka, and Tuluva Narsa Nayaka ruled from 1491 to 1503. He ruled the Vijayanagar kingdom in the name of child ruler Narsim Raya II, last ruler of Saluva dynasty, and the most important ruler of this dynasty and also of Vijayanagar kingdom was Krishnadev Rai. He was the most powerful ruler of Vijayanagar kingdom. He took the title of Andhra Bhoj. The reign of Krishnadev Rai was golden age of Telugu literature. During his reign, the empire was at its zenith. He established a new town, Nagalapuram, near capital city Vijayanagar. The Portuguese traveler Domingo Pes and Duarte Barbosa visited Vijayanagar Empire during his reign. He faced threat from the disintegrated empire of Bahmani kingdom, Gajpati ruler of Odisha, and rising power of Portuguese. He defeated the Sultan of Bijapur, Golconda, and the Gajpati of Odisha. While in the north there was change in power, there was Battle of Panipat, first Battle of Panipat in 1526. It happened during the reign of Krishnadev Rai. So there was change in power in North India. The Delhi Sultanate was get changed into Mughal Empire. At that time, Deccan was under stable rule of Krishnadev Rai, and Krishnadev Rai was contemporary of Babur. Honanhalli inscription in Kannada language is the only inscription that mention the death of Krishnadev Rai. So it is an important inscription to remember. Krishnadev Rai was himself a great scholar who contributed to the development of Telugu language, and he also wrote Sanskrit literatures. The Telugu literature written by Krishnadev Rai was Amukta Malyada, and it is poem regarding marriage of Lord Vishnu and Alvarsent Andal. And in Sanskrit literature, he wrote Madalsa Charitra, Satyavedu Parinay, Ras Manjari, and Jambavati Kalyanam. Uh, in his court, there was 8 Telugu scholar and poet, and they were known as Ashtadiggaj. The two important Ashtadiggaj of Krishnadev Rai were Pedanna and Tenali Ram. Allasani Pedanna. He was the greatest among Ashtadiggaj and honored with title Andhra Kavita Pitama by Krishnadev Rai. So he got the title of Andhra Kavita Pitama by Krishnadev Rai. After the death of Krishnadev Rai, another Portuguese traveler visited Vijayanagar kingdom. He named Fernando Nunes. Fernando Nunes visited Vijayanagar in 1535 to 37, but his account gave details of Vijayanagar Empire under Sangam, Saluva, and Tuluva dynasty. So he gave the account of all three dynasty: Sangam dynasty, Saluva dynasty, and Tuluva dynasty of Vijayanagar kingdom. The last ruler of Tuluva dynasty was Sadasiv Rai, but the de facto ruler was Rama Rai. Rama Rai was son-in-law of Krishnadev Rai, and he was the founder of Aravidu dynasty. It was Rama Rai who led the forces in the Battle of Talikot or Battle of Banihatti. And this battle is also known as Battle of Rakshasa Tangdi. It happened in 1565, and it was battle between Vijayanagar Empire and joint army of Deccan Sultanate, Ahmadnagar, Bijapur, Golconda, and Bidar. Berar, uh, Berar did not took part in Battle of Talikot. In this battle, Rama Rai was betrayed by two Muslim commanders. They were known as Gilani brothers. And with the defeat and death of Rama Rai in 1565, the capital Vijayanagar was plundered by Deccan Sultanate, and it was completely destroyed in Battle of Talikot. After the battle, the power of Vijayanagar kingdom started declining, but the kingdom continued to rule till 1646 with its capital at Pengonda. So it was actually the ruler. There was ruler in 1565. The Vijayanagara kingdom was ruled by Tuluva dynasty, but actually the actual ruler was Rama Rai, and he was from Aravidu dynasty. So Tuluva dynasty ruled from 1491 to 1570, and the last ruler was Sadasiv Rai. His reign was from 1542 to 1570, but he was not actual ruler. The de facto ruler was Rama Rai. Rama Rai controlled the Vijayanagar Empire from 1542 to 1565. So Aravidu dynasty was stabilized from 1542 to 1646. But in some books, you will find mention of Tirumala Devarai as founder of Aravidu dynasty. But actually, it was Ramarai. The administration of Vijayanagar kingdom. The kingdom was divided into province were known as Mandalam or Rajyas. Then there was many division within a province and the district level division, and the district were known as Nadu. Next was Isthala was sub district, and then Grama or Gram. Mandalams were governed by royal prince and royal rulers with great autonomy. They were allowed to issue coins of small denomination in their names. The self-administration of village, which was dominated in South India and basically part of administration of Chola Empire like Ur and Sabha, was weakened under Vijayanagar Empire, and it was replaced. Ur and Sabha was replaced by Nayak Sip, and Nayak Sip emerged as a new administration unit. Nayak were army soldiers, and they start controlling the village level administration. Amram. Amram was territory granted to army chief. Army chief were known as Palaigar or Palegar or Nayak. In lieu of service and additional money, they were granted territory uh, in lieu of service, and this territory is known as Amaram. And the additional money collected from Amaram above their salary were submitted to the central exchequer. These Nayaks formed a very powerful section of Vijayanagar Empire, and with the decline of Vijayanagar Empire after Battle of Talikot, many Nayaks declared independence from Vijayanagar kingdom. So after Vijayanagar kingdom, there was Nayak Empire. Vijayanagar Kingdom economy. Agriculture was the main profession of Vijayanagar Kingdom, and a lot of dams were built on Tungabhadra river for agriculture purposes. Many foreign travelers gave accounts of Vijayanagar Kingdom, but regarding life and economy at village level, no details were given by any foreign visitors. As the province was ruled with great autonomy, the tax rate varied from province to province. An inscription of Vijayanagar kingdom described the tax rates as follow. Uh, there was one third tax of rice produce and one fourth of sesame, ragi, and horse gram, etc. And it was one sixth of millet and other crops of dry land. So the tax rate varied according to location or province, and then type of crops, soil irrigation and irrigation method, etc. In addition to land tax, there were other taxes like property tax, sales tax, and profession tax, etc. The Vijayanagar kingdom had trade relationship with Arabia, Persia, China, and Portuguese. Art and culture during the reign of Vijayanagar kingdom. Different language including Sanskrit, Telugu, Tamil, and Kannada flourished under the patronage of Vijayanagar kingdom. Temple architecture flourished during the Vijayanagar Empire and it combined the architectural features of Cholas, Hoysala, Pandya, Chalukya, and Indo-Islamic style of Bijapur with following characteristic. Talgopuram, a mythical creature of Yali, Yali was horse, is engraved in temple pillars. A central mandapa called Kalyan Mandapa was incorporated for marriage ceremonies in temple premises. Chariot at Vitthal temple was added by Krishnadev Rai, and Vitthal temple was built by Dev Rai too. Next is Bahmani Kingdom. Bahmani Kingdom ruled from 1347 to 1527. The Bahmani Kingdom was first independent Muslim kingdom of the Deccan. Bahmani Kingdom acted as a cultural bridge between North and South India. The kingdom was in constant conflict with Vijayanagar Kingdom. It was founded by Jafar Khan or Hassan Gangu, and he named himself as Alauddin Bahman Shah after founding the Bahmani kingdom, and the Bahmani kingdom was named after his name Alauddin Bahman Shah. So Bahman Shah and then Bahmani kingdom. He ruled from 1347 to 1358. He established the capital at Gulbarg. Later in 1425, the capital was shifted to Bidar by Ahmad Shah. Jafar Khan was a servant of Brahman named Gangu. Thus, he was named as Hassan Gangu by Barni. Barni was court person of Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Jafar Khan was governor of Deccan region under Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Later, he declared independence from Delhi Sultanate and founded Bahmani Sultanate. And he was mentioned as Hassan Gangu by Barni. The most important administrator of Bahmani kingdom was Mahmud Gawan. Mahmud Gawan was prime minister, and he was from prime minister of Bahmani Sultanate from 1411 to 1481. He was an Iranian trader and got the title of Malik ul Tajjar. Malik ul Tajjar means chief of merchants. And he got this title from Bahmani king Humayun Shah. Later he became Wazir and got the title of Khwaju Jahan. He served three Bahmani sultans. Mahmud Gawan wrote poem in Persian language. His important compilation was Riyaj ul Insa and Manajir ul Insa. He also built a grand madrasa at Bidar. Mahmud Gawan was executed in 1481 on the order of Bahmani Sultan Muhammad Shah III. Uh, and he was executed because he was falsely accused by other nobles. The decline of Bahmani kingdom was started after the death of Mahmud Gawan, as Mahmud Gawan was able prime minister, and his death led to the disintegration of empire. In 1490, there three new empires emerged from Bahmani kingdom. It was Ahmadnagar, Bijapur, and Berar. Af- Afnase Nikitan, Russian merchant, visited Bahmani kingdom in 1417 during the reign of Muhammad Shah III or Mahmud Gawan. He wrote his voyage, The Journey Beyond Three Sea. So here was the map shows Vijayanagar Empire and the disintegrated Bahmani kingdom. So there was Vijayanagar Empire, then then in the north in Maharashtra region there was Ahmadnagar. Then in Maharashtra and Karnataka region there was Bijapur, and in Andhra Pradesh there was Golconda Empire. Then there was Berar Empire in middle portion, and then Bidar. Bidar was sandwiched between Berar, Ahmadnagar, Bijapur, Golconda, and Vijayanagar Empire. And these empires were named after their capital, except Berar. The capital of uh, the capital of Berar was Achalpur. So over that time, the Bahmani kingdom is split into five parts. First is Bijapur, then Ahmednagar, then Berar, then Golconda, and then Bidar. In 1419, three kingdom emerged. First one is Bijapur. It was founded by Adil Shah. Then Ahmednagar. It was founded by Ahmad Nizam Shahi. Then Berar, with capital at Achalpur, and it was founded by Imad Shahi. Then in 1518, Golconda emerged, and it was founded by Qutub Shahi. And in last, the Bahmani kingdom was finally replaced by Bidar, and the Bidar was founded by Barid Shahi. The Bahmani kingdom was completely replaced by these five kingdoms by 1527-28. In 1510, Portuguese Governor General Afonso de Albuquerque took control of Goa from Bijapur and became the first Duke of Goa. Except Berar, rest four kingdoms jointly fought against Vijayanagar kingdom in Battle of Talikot in 1565. Ahmednagar. Ahmednagar under the rule of Murtaza Nizam Shah annexed Berar region in 1574, and Bidar was annexed by Bijapur under the rule of Ibrahim Adil Shah II in 1619. Persian historian Farishta was captain of Ahmednagar army. Later he became part of Bijapur Sultanate under rule of Ibrahim Shah II. Ibrahim Shah II asked Farishta to write a history of India with equal emphasis on Deccan history or Deccan Sultanate. So Farishta wrote uh, तारीख़ फरिश्ता और गुलशन इब्राहिमी, and it was he described India prior to Islam, and he described India till rule of Deccan Sultanate. Later the whole Deccan Sultanate was annexed by Mughals. The administration of Bahmani kingdom, the province were known as Tarafs, and it was governed by Tarafdar or Amir. Tarafdar or Amir were governor. Bahmanis were familiar with the use of gunpowder in warfare. There was strife among nobles, and nobles were divided into two broad categories. One is native novels, and other one is novels. The native novels were known as Deccanese, and foreigner novels were known as Af- Afghis or Garibs. Deccani Urdu flourished during the reign of Bahmani Sultanate. And here is the list of foreign travelers who visited India during the reign of Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom. The first one is Damascus, not Damascus. Damascus is a region in Syria. The first traveler was Sihabuddin al-Umari, and he came India from Damascus, Syria in 1348, and he brought a book named Masalik al-Basar fi Mamlik al-Amsar. And in this writing, he described Delhi Sultanate under Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Then another important traveler was Niccolo Conti. Niccolo Conti came to India from Italy in 1420 to 1421, and he came India and he visited Vijayanagar Empire under the rule of Devrai I. Then next foreign traveler was Abdur Razzaq. Abdur Razzaq came India from Persia in 1443 and 1444. He visited Calicut under Jamorin ruler, and he also visited Vijayanagar Empire under the rule of Devrai II. And next traveler was Athan, Athanasius Nikitan from Russia. He visited India in 1470 to 1474. He visited Bahmani kingdom under Muhammad Shah III. It was Muhammad Shah III who executed Mahmud Gawan. The next traveler was Vasco da Gama from Portugal. He visited India in 1498, and he came at Calicut under Jamorin ruler. So it was Vasco da Gama who discovered the sea route between Europe and India, between Europe and Asia. So this led to the influx of Portuguese traveler in India. So in you will find more Portuguese traveler in Vijayanagar Empire because sea route was discovered by Vasco da Gama. So next traveler was Duarte Barbosa from Portugal. He visited India in 1500 to 1516. He visited Vijayanagar kingdom under Krishnadev Rai. The next traveler was Domingo Pais from Portugal. He visited from 1520 to 1522. He visited Vijayanagar kingdom under Krishnadev Rai. Then another traveler was Fernão Fernão Nunes from Portugal. He visited from 1535 to 1537 and he visited Vijayanagar kingdom. And next one was John Huygen John Huygen von Linschoten. He was Dutch traveler, Dutch or Netherlands. He visited India in 1583 and he wrote a valuable account of the social and economic life of South India. During this time period, there was a struggle going on between Ottoman and Portuguese to dominate Indian Ocean or sea trade, and Portuguese succeeded to dominate Indian Ocean. And to dominate the region, Portuguese established their first fort as Fort Emmanuel at Kochi in Kerala in 1503, and it was built by Afonso de Albuquerque. In 1510, they captured Goa region by Bijapur Sultanate, and in 1534, they captured Bombay region from Gujarat Sultanate, and in 1539, they captured Daman and Diu region from Gujarat Sultanate. So, this is all for today, and this is the end of lecture. Thank you.